Hi everyone, Joy here. As you guys know, I have started this podcast to basically share my entrepreneurial journey with you all. And I thought, what better way to do that than to share entrepreneurial journeys from other entrepreneurs? And today I have Robert. He is all the way from Texas and he is a proper tech geek, which I wish I was one. And he's got this passion and this love to teach people and educate people on various topics, including tech stuff. Are you thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, but you're not exactly sure if that is for you? Or you have tried a few times, but you have failed? Or maybe you are currently on your journey, but you're not exactly sure you're taking the right path and if you're doing the right things? Follow along on this podcast where I will be sharing my entrepreneurial journey with you all. I will be sharing my successes, my failures, and also my challenges. The best part is I will also be interviewing fellow entrepreneurs that will be sharing their stories and their successes. This is my podcast, Entrepreneurial Journey, and I am Joy Nicholson. Hi, Robert. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Joy?
I'm fabulous. Thank you very much. So tell people a little bit about you, where you're from, what you like to do, your hobbies, just a little bit about you so they can get to know you.
Born and raised in Houston. I live probably a mile and a half from the house I grew up in. Travel a lot. I say a lot. I've traveled a little bit around the country, a little bit international. People talk about sports a lot. My sports are shotguns and fishing rods. I'm not a football, baseball guy. I like to hunt and fish. I don't get enough time to anymore, but that's what I do when I have the time. Yeah. So that probably covers. Drink some beer once in a while.
That's fabulous. And when you say travel, so like if you can do anything full time, would that be travel? Like is travel like your thing?
I mean, define travel. Yes, I would love to be mobile. Yeah. We call it the laptop lifestyle. Yes. And I'm actually working with a guy right now that's got a business model built where you could pretty much go anywhere. I can go anywhere that speaks English and be making a salary level income in 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, and that's all in-person stuff. That's not even counting anything I was to do as an online system or. So. Yeah, I like to be mobile. I'd like to see most of the world. I met a guy a while back that's been on the road for 6 years and hasn't been home. And I was like, dude, you've got it figured out. Yeah. He stays as long as his visa allows and he goes to the next country. He's got it figured out.
That is awesome. I want to do that as well. It's a bit harder when you've got kids, but that sounds fabulous.
Yeah, just leave him at home with the husband. Who cares?
So tell me, how did this entrepreneurial bug bite you? Did you come from a family of entrepreneurs, or was it just something that you stumble upon?
No, my dad's a 9-to-5 guy. He worked 9 to 5 his whole life. Mom's worked 9 to 5 her whole life. I'm not a good employee. My father taught me at a young age to be self-reliant and learn to figure things out and do things on my own. And because of that, I make a bad employee because I show up and I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to figure it out. Well, you shouldn't do it. And then they tell me, well, don't do it that way. I'm like, but it works and it's faster than the way you want me to do it. So tell me why. And then, or I'll find a system and I'll be, hey, can we do this a different way? Or can we make it better? Or my last job, I made a mistake. I said, hey, I made a mistake. Let's fix it so nobody else makes a mistake. No. We don't want to do that. I've hit that wall 3 and 4, 5 times. And it's just, I can't do it anymore. Working for people is driving me crazy. So I had an opportunity to jump off on a short-term project and bounce that and started my business. My business was already started at that point. And I'm still getting started. Yes. I guess it's a good part to throw in that you posted in one of the groups. I don't know. It was June 11th. So I looked at the message earlier and said, hey, anybody that's interested in being on my podcast, let me know. And I was like, I would be, but I'm not ready yet. You were like, why not? I was like, I don't know. Give me, 6 months. And the progress that's happened the last 2 months. I mean, it was June 11th. Today is August 11th. So it's been exactly 2 months. That's funny.
Yeah.
This is the soonest when I could get on your schedule. Now, heck, you and I talk almost every day. So, I don't know. It's funny how the world works sometimes.
We became good friends. And I just have to tell the audience that without Robert, I'll be completely screwed because I'm such a techno weenie, so bad. And he's back in knowledge of Clickfunnels have saved me a few times. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. That's what we're here for. We're all here to help each other.
That's true. We have to encourage each other and help each other. So now, what at the moment, what is your, or should I say, okay, let me rewind a little bit first. What is the very first business that you tried?
Very first, does this go back to like mowing yards in high school or junior high?
Well, we started like saying, okay, I'm actually making money now, you know, like as an entrepreneur, not just a kid.
Really, this one. I mean, I've had a couple little piddly operations. I mowed yards. I did power washing. I tried to start a company doing custom leather work, wallets, belts, holsters, and stuff. And I realized there's way too much misunderstanding of what that work entails. And people like, oh, I want this, and well, Cavender's sells it for $75, and I'm like, then go buy the Chinese made thing because it's going to cost me 20 hours and $400 to build that. So you're going to pay $1,000 for it. Like that's just what it is. So that didn't, you know, that was a couple months of me trying to do that, and I still play with leather now and then. But this is really the first business I've tried to set off and has taken traction. And it's still getting traction. I'm still on the upslope trying to get it going. I haven't plateaued yet. So that's, you know, it's kind of a benefit and downside, I guess. Once you plateau, you start getting sad. But, you know, I want to get it going a little more before I really call it a game. But that's where I'm at.
Tell us a little bit about this more. Like, do you mind to expand a little bit on what you're doing there now?
So let's see. Long story short, I was in a role on a job doing a lot of data work, and I had to do some Excel stuff, and I managed to open my mouth and say, hey, I know how to use Excel. And he was like, oh, good, sit in this chair and, you know, do this stuff. And it was boring, repetitive stuff. I knew that there was this thing called a macro in Excel. I didn't know how it worked, didn't know what it did, didn't know how to record or program or write them, but I knew they could do what I was doing. And that set off about an 8-hour venture that night to write my first macro, which was fairly functional the following morning.
Wow.
And that resulted in an Excel book that was 20-some pages, and it took what was taking me close to 40 hours manually and turned it into a 2.5-hour process.
Wow.
And today, if I wrote that, it would be automated. It would fire itself at 6:01 on Monday morning and be sitting on my desk when I got there. However, at the time, manually importing the data was good enough because it automated the function of the data.
Yes.
So one thing leads to another. That led to taking some programming classes, led to a web design course. A friend of mine has a blog. He's blind. He started the blog when he could see, and now he's blind. So I was kind of doing the writing end of that for him. Realized there was some issues with web design. Realized that I could probably do a better job than most, you know, understanding how stuff works and writing stuff that my thing with websites is I want to be able to give you a website and walk away.
Yes.
Now, I want to keep your business. I want to host it. I want to do your repairs. I want to do your service work. But if you own the domain, you own the content, you own the site, and you can walk away with it, it makes me work to keep you as a client.
Yes.
And so many people get a website built on Fiverr or whatever, and they get some guy that builds it. I was reading a how-to in Russian the other day. Like, you know, the guide in the website itself was in Russian. And paragraph by paragraph, I read it off in Google Translate. But that's disservice to your customer.
Yes.
Especially if you can write English, because the whole Rush program was in English. You know, all the code was in English.
Oh wow!
And so, my goal is to provide a service that is good. And I got exposed to ClickFunnels. I'm going to say 18 months ago, last spring, and I kind of came back to realizing that was the route to advertise, if nothing else. Then I was like, well, why don't I advertise for other people? So I'm kind of somewhere in the lead generation world of web design and building ads, and you know, it's kind of a conglomerate mess right now, and I'm trying to tune it down to one or two things.
Yes.
Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, it does. It does. And so, what is the struggles that you're facing then with all of this?
Getting started. The analysis paralysis, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
Shiny object syndrome. You know, there's all kinds of information out there, and I've actually started building a master process, is what I'm calling it. That, you know, step one, file your LLC. Here's what you need. Here's what you don't.
Yes.
Step two, start a Facebook page. You know, you have a profile, start a page, and this is what it needs to do. Start a group, and this is what it needs to do. You need to collect information from people, you know, how to pick name, how to build photos, and it's literally just scaling out step by step. But at some point, you have to take action on it.
Yes.
You know, and that's kind of the thing, is it's like, all right, I have all this stuff. You know, you watch the affiliate bootcamp for ClickFunnels, and you get down the road, and you're like, well, I just watched 10 guys tell me in 2 hours how they did their thing, but what do I do with all that? but you know what I'm saying there. And so I've compiled a lot of that into that process, and it's coming along. And that's just something I'm working on, because in theory, at some point, I'd like to be a business consultant, because I enjoy systems, processes, and making stuff work right. So I keep putting my hands in front of the camera. Sorry. But where was I going with this?
You were busy saying to me the struggles that you have on that.
Oh, yeah. So it's the analysis paralysis. It's getting all this information together. And then it's like, well, I want to start a podcast, but and if I hadn't ever listened to Steve Larson, I'd have had no problem starting a podcast. But then I heard how he started his, so I've got to start mine that way, which means I've got to sit down and take 12 hours to write scripts and write it out, so that it's basically the perfect webinar script in your first 6 episodes. And I just haven't made the time to sit down and do that. So my podcast is just sitting over on a shelf somewhere. And it's that repetitive thing that I've dealt with, is getting too much information to actually take action on something.
You see, now that's the difference between us, because I just go with it. And this podcast of mine, I think the first 10 episodes, probably the first 20 episodes, didn't even get much listeners either, because I just went for it.
Well, nobody does up front. And there's nothing wrong with starting it however you want to start it. But I like the way he did it, so that's how I want to do it. And that's where I'm stuck on taking the time to write the scripts and get it all laid out.
Yes, no, definitely. He's got some good method to the madness, that is for sure. So apart from money, what is your driving factor? What is that thing that keeps you going on this entrepreneurial journey?
I like helping people. And in some ways that's selfish, because the more I help you, the more you want to help me. It's the law of reciprocity. And the more free stuff I put out there, the more you're going to pay me in the long run. I work with a guy right now who says free doesn't mean I don't get paid. It just means I may not get paid today. I may not get paid by you, but I will get paid. So, yeah. And that's true. If you really think about, the guys in the ABC, the guys in the affiliate boot camp, they're putting their stuff out there. They're doing it for free to Clickfunnels, but every one of them had you and me go look at their page, like, oh, I want to buy their system. I'm going to go buy their $1,000 course. Yeah, I may not get paid today, and I may not get paid by you, and so that's the root of it. It's all about money in the long run. But I enjoy helping people. If I could help people for free and just live for free, I'd be happier than a hog. I would do that in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, time is money. Money is time, and we have to make money somehow. So
that is very true. I think that's the problem that I have, is that I just give away everything for free. It's a problem.
I'm working with a business coach that I'm helping her kind of like I'm helping you, and she's helping me with some stuff. And she was like, you've got to sit down and make a billing plan. Because there's an individual, I think I told you about the guy that asked me a really simple question. And I have no problem answering simple questions. The third time, it's like, all right, dude, we've got to make this a compensated situation, because I can't go on spending hours helping you for free. So, she was like, you've got to sit down and make a plan. And if it's, here's 10 hours and here's a price, or I'll give you 3 months and here's the number of hours you can use. And if you use them all in the next 2 weeks, then buy some more.
Yes.
And that's what I've got to set up, at least from a support side.
Yes, definitely.
You could probably be more on a single off deliverable. Hey, I need this copy written, this one funnel written out for you. You write that out and you deliver it on, if you say it's going to take me 3 hours and your hourly rate's $100, you sell $300, you're happy. I don't know, but you're probably more on the deliverable end of things, where I'm on the ongoing service plan type of thing.
Well, technically, because you know what, I have a few people that seriously ask me a lot of questions every day. And some of the questions is really similar, but they're not the same. And it's really like that stuff that just, I want to say, just go freaking Google it. Because,
right, you do.
And I actually worked it out. This one guy specifically, I went back on the messages, and he's been messaging me from about May. And it's easily 3 hours of conversation back and forth. And I've just reached a point, and I said to him, dude, you're either going to make a decision. You're either joining Clickfunnels under me, or you don't. I don't care, but I'm over it now.
If they're waffling like that, it's not worth your time.
Exactly. And I cut it off, and I'm like, you know what? You join, you don't. I don't care. I'm over this. I can't spend more time on you.
Bad client syndrome. If they're a bad client up front, they're going to be a bad client on the back end. Don't waste your time.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, do I actually really want him in my team? Probably not. So now I'm going to ask you, Robert, to please share your screen while we're on the ClickFunnel topic. And
Uh-oh.
I want you to please be so kind and share like 2 little hacks that can help people with their funnel.
All right.
Specifically the ones that you helped me with, that is such a rookie mistake to make, but it makes such a big impact on your funnel.
All right. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see.
Perfect. Okay.
So for the people that's listening in on this podcast and is not actually going to watch the YouTube video, I do recommend you pop over to YouTube and watch this so you can see what Robert is showing us.
And I'll try to kind of talk through it as I go, but I make no promise that it sounds as complete as it could be.
Yes.
So I've got a funnel open. Up in the top left corner, you have settings. Drop down to SEO metadata.
Mm-hmm.
You have a right-hand screen pop up. In the title box is what's going to show on your tab. And so a lot of people, like the generic here, it's a Conquer theme squeeze page funnel.
Yes.
So I've seen people, we actually had somebody in your group the other day that had, instead of squeeze page, they had, what was it, lead generation page or something?
Yeah, it was lead magnet.
Lead magnet, yeah. And I very abruptly said, dude, you're going to lose people like that. And, you were nice enough to say, Robert, don't be mean. And I was like, I haven't had my coffee. But, it's one of those things that, as a customer, if I come to this and I see lead magnet, I'm like, what is that? And if I know anything about marketing, I'm going to say, oh, this guy just wants my information. So you don't want something like that. So you might have, what's a product you sell, Joy?
Let's just use Clickfunnels while we're on it.
Okay. So, I don't know, Clickfunnels. How to PDF. So, it might be like that, or it might be your company name and but it doesn't sound quite as goofy as somebody's, it's lead gen, it's my lead gen page, it's my lead magnet. It sounds like the client's actually getting something good out of it instead of you telling them what you're doing to them in that tab. So under the description section, and this is, if you come down here, you see under that section, there's a couple of images of the ways that your search results will come up. So like on a Google, this is Google Images, but if I hop back here and I'm just going to type in ClickFunnels for sake of interest. So you see the blue, the green, the white, and black, that's the text level. So it's the same thing with this. What do you want to show up there? And so this is a PDF all about how ClickFunnels works. You can put whatever you want in there. Keywords, it's got ClickFunnels. I'm going to say web editor, that works.
Now, with the keywords, where does that come in? Is it kind of like your SEO stuff, or what exactly is the keywords linked to this now?
I honestly haven't dealt enough in the ClickFunnels backend algorithm to know, but it should be SEO type stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to misspeak and lie to anybody, but that should be stuff that it's going to rank for, like a meta tag structure.
Yeah.
That when Google crawls the internet, it crawls and sees that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So how to help, if I can spell right. Anyway, so, stuff that relates to the topic at hand. You might even throw CF in there, because I know when I search, a lot of the time I'll punch in CF in the search box.
Yeah.
So your name, obviously, and then a social image. So the social image is what's going to show in the share link down here. So if I just open this up and grab, what is that? That's a OFA image. And come back and hit the add image button. And so that's the image that's going to show up if it shows up in a search box, yeah, or in a Facebook share form.
Okay.
If you have something like that.
Yeah.
So where are we going with that? So then after you got all that set up, one of the things to do just to verify your image is going to carry over is to take your URL and actually I'm in the wrong tab. There it is. So developers.facebook.com/tools/debug/sharing. Run your URL through this and it will clean it. It'll verify the data. That was one I was doing for somebody, but I'm just running it real quick. I don't know what it's saying. Link preview. So it'll pop this image in and make sure you have the right image in there. So there's some generic pictures that ClickFunnels uses if you don't upload your own image. And then this is what it populated. It has to be at least 200 by 200 pixels, or it will grab the middle 200 by 200 out. So like this one, it would probably grab this little area right here. It really wouldn't show anything good that you want to see.
Yes.
That's what that one does.
Okay.
Anything else you want to see really quick while we're sitting here talking about it?
Okay, so save that then. And how does it look like if you open that page in incognito or wherever, like how that data that you just put in, how would that look then if you open that web page? Like if you go to preview, maybe will preview show it?
It would be actually like I just want to copy this line. So if I run back over here and run it, my fingers aren't working today. Oh, I haven't shared it. So let me go to Facebook and share this.
But like even if you don't even put it in Facebook, if you just like have like the preview on Google basically, how would that look?
That's basically just that little picture down here would show up.
Yeah,
it was there.
I see the funneled how to PDF. Okay, so there where the bold stuff is, then that will then normally, if you don't change it, it will say league magnet or something crazy.
Right, whatever the generic stuff is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna jump up. Let's see what happens when that comes up. I hope nobody actually goes to this because that's not a live page. So this is the image we set.
Yes.
And so if I wanted to go change that, this would actually be a good way to do that now. So I wanted to change that image.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Settings, SEO metadata. That's going to be a picture of a tree or something because that's a picture of a house with a tree on it. So I wanted to change that for whatever reason. Come back and save it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I want to do, okay, I shared it here. Come back here, and I'm going to debug, scrape it again,
mm-hmm.
and then it should. That was what I needed to do. Scrape again. There it goes. That didn't upload. It may not be a big enough picture, but I think that gets the point across. There's a way to come in and change it. And you want to do that, especially with a share funnel. And I guess when you share funnel, it's going to come to your name. It's going to change the URL to be your name there. So it's going to update everything. But okay, where did I stop at?
So just showing the Facebook thing?
Yeah, so we scraped. I think the picture that I actually grabbed was too small, but I think the point's there. You come back in here and you can change and update that. So if you were to get somebody else's share funnel and it had a picture of them on it per se, you'd want to put your picture in or whatever and then come in and scrape it so that it updates that picture. So the next time you share it, if I come in here, and copy link address and paste, let's see what picture shows up. Oh, it does show up. Okay, so that's the same link, but it's got the updated picture in it now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that system works.
Cool.
So
I want to quickly delete those posts before somebody goes and
if they actually opt into this, that's their own deal because it's a very, very obviously dead page. So if they opt in, they can have it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great little hack because that's the big mistake that I made with my funnel. And when somebody goes and search it, it just looks horrible. So that's all good. So I've got one last little question for you.
All right.
Well, it's more a statement. If you can give any advice to anyone about, wanting to be an entrepreneur, but they're still sitting on the fence, what would you tell them?
It's one day or day one.
I like
there is no tomorrow. There is no start later. There is no wait until the stars align. You're always going to be busy. You're always going to have issues. You're always going to have excuses. You're always going to be sick. The yard's always going to have to get mowed. I'm working with somebody right now associated with somebody right now that has every excuse under the sun. I've got so many projects at work and I've got this and I've got that. I don't have time to start a Facebook group. If you don't do it today, it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And like my podcast has been sitting in queue for 2 or 3 months at least. And every time I start to work on it, something comes up, and I just haven't made the time. But there's only one of me, and there's only 168 hours in a week. So, sleep till you die, or die till you sleep, or sleep when you're dead. But it's one day or day one. That is probably, if I had one sentence put on my gravestone, one day or day one.
I like that. That is awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Robert. I really enjoyed this interview, and thank you for being my tech buddy and sorting me out when I need you. We're going to drop links to Robert's Facebook page. So for the peepsters on Clickfunnels, Robert's got a Facebook page, and he has, obviously you can do. Am I correct when I said that they can ask questions and you will do demos on them?
Yeah, that's the group.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Clickfunnels answers in an hour. If you're listening, it's Clickfunnels answers in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll throw a link in the group or in the description on this one.
Is that the best place to find you?
There's that one, and then I'm on Facebook as Robert Siegelquist. That's Robert Siegelquist. Just spell it out in the description of the video. But I've got a fan page and I've got a profile, so feel free to add me or follow me on either one of those.
Okay, that's awesome. That we will definitely drop the links, and you guys can reach out to Robert for tech help, because like I said, I don't know what I'll do without him. I'll be lost. Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert. Have a great day, and thank you for taking the time to have this interview with me. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Y'all be safe. Catch you later on now.
Bye.
Bye.